Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you beautiful people doing this evening? Hope everyone's doing well. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you? How are you? How are you? It's Tuesdays with Terrence. It's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So let me try to put that also on WhatsApp so people can start watching. They can come in and look as well because people are always a little slow. How are you on this beautiful, beautiful evening? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. But if you're from the 767 Whitey Kubuli, Toys of Body, the Commonwealth of Dominica, St. Luke's Parish, yes, you call me Luke Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. Let me put it on right now so everybody can see it on Tuesdays with Terrence on WhatsApp, so everybody can take a look. Tuesdays with Terrence, so everybody can take a look. How are you beautiful people doing this evening? Everyone's doing well. Everybody's doing peachy. Everybody's doing well. You may gonna have to say, hey, hello in the chat. If you don't say hello in the chat, I don't know if you're watching. So people are starting to come on slowly but surely. Just before we play our theme song, yeah, I just put it in the chat as well. How are you beautiful people doing on this Tuesday evening, man? It is nice now. Getting financially fit. Oh my gosh. How are you? I have a great show I shouldn't say in plan. I got a great show planned for you tonight. The topic is that she said yes. Now what's next? So what's next, all right? Now what? So we're going to talk about when you have lifestyle changes, what you should be doing. So as people are starting to come in, let me just make sure I give a shout out to anybody who says hello to me. If you say hello to me, I don't know where you're watching from. If you're on, don't tell me I shut down Instagram, man, accidentally. Oh, no. Don't tell me I did that. Oh, man. Instagram, I shut it down accidentally, man. Shame on me. Shame on me. Hopefully it'll come back up, but I hope it comes back up. Let's see. I think I lost it on Instagram, so that was my fault. I do apologize. Trying to do everything at the same time, that kind of happens sometimes. So good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. And again, if you're from the 767 Whitey Kubuli, you call me what? Luke Boy. Yeah, man. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustained me. Before I get my commercials in for what's coming up, I do have some things I need to share here. I need to send it to myself so that I'll be able to tell you guys about it. But how's everybody doing tonight? Is everyone doing well tonight? I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I'm doing well. Are you enjoying the weather? The weather's been bipolar, man. The weather's been bipolar. So I don't know if you guys are upset with the weather, if you're not upset with the weather, but that happens. So how are you doing? Say hello in the chat so I can give you a little hello and recognize you and all of that good stuff. So for those who are doing that, I will do that. And for those of you who are not, let's get our theme song rolling so that we can start the show. And then we will go into our preliminaries. All right. So queuing up our song, our theme song. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. So everybody can hear us. All right. Let's get it going. Our theme song. There it goes. I'm ready. Yeah. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Woo! Boston raised me with its hustle. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro. Ingrid, Boston Tech Tiger. How you doing? Good to see you, Tech Tiger. Yes, yes. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side. Yes, I can't sing a lick, but I love this song. I wrote it. I can't sing, so I had AI sing it. You know, the first verse basically says, Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the seas, that island spirit molded the person I be. And the chorus says, Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shine intertwined. In the heart of this town, the city of Boston, I found my way. A licensed financial pro. The second verse says, I love it. It says, and you got to be from Boston to get this part. It says, on those snowy streets, I learned to stand tall, man. I've shoveled snow for years as a kid and an adult there. Navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the Commons, the Boston Commons. If you don't know nothing about the Boston Commons, Google Boston Commons and Crispus Attucks. You'll know about Boston Commons. To the brownstones in the Boston, and the back bit is little brownstones like Brooklyn, right? I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. And it goes back to the chorus again. So I wrote this song, you know, as a theme song for my Tuesdays with Terrence, and I'm so excited. Good to see Peach Goodwill tonight. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence, my good old faithful Mr. Alvin Vassar. Good to see you. And Ingrid, oh my gosh, a Boston Tech Tiger. Actually, she came when I was gone already, but I feel like I know her because every year at our tailgate, you know what, Ingrid, you know what I didn't do? This month, let me check the calendar. And Ingrid, I hope you're listening because I've seen you've been doing something, right? And I'm going to check something, Ingrid. Let's see, check the calendar. All right. I'm checking it right now. Next Tuesday, Ingrid, is the 31st of March. March is Women's History Month. And you, as an entrepreneur, I've seen you doing some good stuff. As an entrepreneur myself, I respect entrepreneurs. So next Tuesday, but you're gonna have to tell me now at 7 o'clock Eastern. You got to be there early, like 6:30 to be on time, or quarter to 7 to be on time. You know, I want to invite you to be a guest on my show as an entrepreneur. That way, I'll steal some of your pictures on social media, and you can invite all your friends. You can tell them to tune in. You can share it from my page to your page. You can watch my page. I'm giving you an invite to come in next week as an entrepreneur with your new business. I see what you're doing, and I'm very proud of you. And I just want to give a shout out. I've had Malik Williams on from Tech. He was there last Thanksgiving at our tailgate. He's class of '84. He graduated with my sister. I'm the OG, class of '82. But think about it, all right? And I think you have my number, but I will put it in. I'll DM you my number again. But my number is scrolling right down there. My cell number, you can see it. So text me and let me know. I want to get you. I want to promote you. Now you might say, why? Why would he do that? Well, as a licensed financial pro, your clientele and my clientele are different, but your client could be my client. But it's not about me. It's about giving someone a chance to spread the good news of what they're doing. I've been doing this. I'm going to my 7th year. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm there. So I want to promote you. I almost said partner, my business partner, but you are my schoolmate. We went to the same high school, and Tech Tiger strong forever. We always supporting each other. I'm not in Boston. I left over 20 years ago, but I grew up there just like you. By the way, Ingrid, what middle school did you go to anyways? Let us know. But anyways, the invite is there, so the choice is yours. So I want to say hello to June Bardui Answer, my big sister. That was my prom date from Boston Tech class of 1982. My big sister went with me because my date backed out at the last second. And my big sister said, "You're going to your prom." She came from work. Her husband came to pick her up. She went home. She put a nice gown on. And all the guys were saying, "Man, who's that? Who's that girl, man? She look older than you." I'm like, "That's my sister." No one believed me. They're like, "Well, let me holler at them." I'm like, "Go holler at her." My sister's a married woman I can't remember if her son was born yet. But I'm like, yo, I was there dancing with their girls at prom night. So June Bardui Ansem, she calls me little big bro because I treat her like she's my little sister. And I have a little sister who treats me like I'm her big sister. But tonight, it's one of those things. Oh, you went to the Rogers. Okay. All right. Yeah, think about it. Don't be scared. I'll prop you. Don't be scared. That was a last minute thing because last year I had a lot of huge clients, from all over the country, from Florida, Texas, where else? Maryland and some other places as guests. But this year I'm limiting my guests on my show. It's just by me educating people. So I saw your thing today. You were doing your, I don't know, it was a pop-up or whatever. I saw that, and I sent you an invite to just tune in, and you tuned in. So that blesses my heart. Although this is a financial show, we'll talk about entrepreneurship because in America, you got to own a home and a business if you want the American dream. So that way you can get to do a lot of write-offs, and we'll talk about it. And Ingrid, we'll talk about I don't know if you have a partner. We'll talk about buy-sell agreements or key man insurance, protecting your business. We'll talk about that. In case something happens to you, you could still have funds for your business. We'll talk about that later. But right now, I'm not trying to make you a client. I just want to promote you. But we're good to see that. June says, "Okay, my little big bro." I remember that. You remember that? Man, I didn't get any water tonight. I feel like I'm getting a headache. But listen, tonight it is you're heading out of town for the weekend. If I have the energy, I sure will. All right, fine. It's an invite, all right? And listen, I always have a backup plan. It was a last minute thing. It doesn't have to be this month because it's Women's History Month. I think it's a great time, to make sure women, I like to empower women. Nora, good to see you tonight. I like to empower women, especially March. This month is a huge month in terms, March 17th was St. Patty's Day for some, but I don't consider it. I consider it Dominic Rochelle Bardui Day because that was my daughter's birthday. And we have a great show planned for tonight. An excellent, excellent show planned for tonight. You know, the banner basically says March is Women's History Month. She said yes, now what? She said yes, now what? But just before we go there, I want to welcome to all those who are watching, whatever platform you're watching. I actually took off the Instagram by accident, so I'm not going to try to get it back. It's too much. It's not too much work to do, but people have to watch on Facebook tonight. Those who want to follow what I'm going to talk about tonight. So I want to welcome each and every one of you tonight. But let's look at what markets did today. The market's been very volatile. I was looking at one of my friends' 401k. Last month it was like 278,000. I was like 250,000. It's a book loss. But the thing I always tell people, as you get older, you can do what's called an in-service rollover. If you're 59 and a half and older, we can protect that for you. So today, the Dow Jones was down 84.41. The NASDAQ was down 184.87, and this person is heavily invested in the NASDAQ and the S&P, because the NASDAQ is tech stocks, the ABC companies, Google, Apple, those kind of companies. And the S&P was down 24.63 today. So those of you in your 401ks, your mutual funds, your crypto, your Robinhood, all your accounts, you all lost a little money today. And it is what it is. So I want to welcome all of you who are watching the show tonight. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. The H, some people call me H, some people call me at work. Professionally, I go by H. All my colleagues call me H. That stands for Havis, that. I started going by Terrence when my oldest son, Havis Terrence Bardui, who's 37, when he got to be a teenager, people would say, Havis, we both started turning around. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go by Terrence. And then Terrence Bardui just sounds distinguished, So those of you who know me, I'm full of myself, so I'm like Terrence, just sound powerful. So I go by Terrence Bardui. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. If you're from Dominica, you call me Badwill, Mr. Badwill. And, if you're from Point Michelle, enclave of La Pointe, aka St. Luke's Parish, you call me Little Boy, aka Luca Boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. Dominica is what we call Whitey Kubuli. That's the Kalinago name for it. Tall is her body. If you look at the map of Dominica, it's kind of long. So that's where I got my little intro for that. So for those of you who are watching tonight, welcome to the show. I have a great show planned for you. She said yes, now what? Well, this past weekend last Tuesday was my daughter's birthday. I showed you guys some pictures. I'll try to show some pictures in a minute as well. But on Saturday night, there was a surprise engagement. She didn't know anything about it. The young man, her boyfriend, Mr. Rubin, he called me last month in February for my permission he wants to propose to my daughter. Now I was flabbergasted because we text all the time, but we never talk on the phone. I see him every time I go down see the kids. But he gave me he called me and he said he was very nervous and he's scared. I said, man, what took you so long? Because I met the man. It's so funny. I had to do my little speech and I told him about that. But I'll tell you guys, when I met him for the first time after my father died in 2020, I gave him some dap, hug him, and I said, come here, man. And I whisper in his ear, that's my only daughter. You hurt her and I'll kill you. Like a movie. And then I opened up and I gave him some dap and I said, yeah, man, nice to meet you. And I smiled. He was probably peeing in his pants back then, but it was just something I wanted to do to let him know. That's my princess. And I have no doubt he's going to be a great, 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 great husband whenever the wedding happens. We don't know when or what. That's none of my business. But it's all over my Facebook page. People who know me on social media, if I got good news, I'm promoting it, And if you don't want me to promote stuff, like my sister's watching right now, June Bardui answer, she'll send me pictures. She said, don't post it. I'm out of town. Don't post it. Because she knows she got to give me the clue. Because if she don't, especially if I love the pictures, I'm posting it and I'm saying where you are too. So there are some people who don't send me pictures, and some people they only send me pictures. If they send me pictures, they know I'm gonna post it, so they send it to me, and they're like, because I will post any picture, whether you got a boogie hanging out of your nose, your makeup's messed up, your hair ain't done, your teeth. If I like the picture, I'm posting it. So, and many times I have to be told take our pictures down. Sandy's told me take our pictures down many times. But anyways, it's really really important that tonight we talk about that. But just before we do that, we had my daughter did not know about it. I called on her birthday, and I talk a lot for those of you who don't know. And I said, "So what you doing for your birthday?" She said, "Oh, I'm going to some karaoke with some friends and probably with Ruben." I said, "What you doing on the weekend?" She goes, "I don't know." What they did, they told her this girl's birthday had a birthday party. So she said, I might be going to this birthday thing. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, sooner or later, I'll see you for your birthday then, because," and I got off the phone. I said, "I have a client," because I got off the phone because I was so excited. I probably would have spilled the beans. But my oldest son, Junior, Havis Junior, actually was the one who brought her to the function, and he basically told her he was going out, and her boyfriend, they're inseparable. Now I should say her fiance. They were inseparable. But the funny thing about it was, his mom was in town for the thing, but she didn't know. He said, "Oh, I'm having brunch with my mom and them, and we'll talk. We'll meet them later." Da 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 da. And man, she was surprised, and we just got her really good, and I was really excited. And I've never gone through this as a parent. You know, I mean, I've heard of people engagement. I've done it, but I don't know. How to act. But the funny thing about it is, for those of you who know me, I can talk a lot. So I had a very short little thing to say because some of us, our mother said, "Would you do a toast?" She's going to do a toast. Her brother, different people, they had scheduled people to do the toast. And like my little sister that I told you, who's like my little big sister, says, "Well, for all that talking you be doing, this is the time you're supposed to talk. You're talking about you have like a 30-second. No." So man, they should have never said that. I went on for like 9 minutes. if I didn't get the hook, I'll be there for 20, 25 minutes. But like I said, I'm very excited. As you can tell from my voice and I'm very happy for her. I want to say hello to Robin Martin and Valdem Mary Peltier Breedy. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence and everybody else who's tuning in. The show entitled tonight is She Says Yes, Now What? We're going to talk about getting financially fit because when you have a lifestyle change, you have to make decisions. We'll talk about that. But just before we do that, let me see if I can share my screen and show you guys a couple of pictures. Let's see. Just a couple. How do I share it? Right here? Is that it? No, that's copy. I'm forgetting how to do this now. Let's see. Share screen. There it goes. There it goes. Share screen. And then we're going to go to email. And we're going to share my screen. And we're going to go here. Nothing too confidential. The first picture I'm going to show. This is Dominique when she was an older picture. I took that off her Instagram. That's an older picture of her. Yeah, that's her right there, which was a little bit younger. She's a grown woman now, and then the next picture, that's Proud Daddy. That's the girl with the ring. That's Ruben, and that's Sandy right there. And then the next picture that we have, show you guys real quickly. And before we go into the show, the next picture we have here is this one. These are the proud parents. That's Daddy, Nikki, Ruben, and Elizabeth, her mommy. That's proud parents. So we're very, very proud, of that. And then we have, let's see, I hope let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have this coming up. But before I show you this, keep this up here for 1 second. she, it says right here, she said yes, and we're really, it must be really exciting, for young people starting their lives over, not over, but starting their lives, and you want to give them the blessings. But as a parent, for those of you who don't know, my daughter's like, if I shave all of this and I had long hair and I was a chick and I was young, I look just like her, So that's my little princess. So as a father, I'm very proud. But tomorrow night, for those of you who are, I'll be a host on this program as well. Not a host, I'll be a panelist. The big station, Q95 in the Commonwealth of Dominica, is having a program. It's called Roots Connection on Q, Beyond GoFundMe. It's tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So those of you, it'll be streaming on my page, but you can follow this. And I put this ad on my page as well. It's on my story. You guys can look at that. So just a cheap plug for what's happening with me as a licensed financial pro. All right. So that's my thing. You guys have seen what's happening about that. And now we're going to stop sharing and go back to Tuesdays with Terrence. So I said that. So I'm a very proud father. A girl's first love is her father. That's how it's supposed to be. Her first love is supposed to be her father. But her lover becomes her husband. Her father's not her lover. Her lover becomes her husband. So there's going to come a day when I'm going to have to give her away to a man, and I feel comfortable with this young man. He's a good man from what I know and what I've seen, and they have my blessings. So that's my little plug for my daughter. So I'm very happy. So you'll see me posting a whole bunch of stuff about that, and you guys don't have to like it. I don't care. I'm just giving information out. It was so funny. People are funny. Someone asked me a question, but I don't want to talk about that. But I was like, man, I'm so excited. We had some challenges getting back home, but we got home late last night, and it's Tuesdays with Terrence. So the topic is She Said Yes, Now What? So for those of you who are watching, if you have children or grandchildren who are, at the age where they make lifestyle changes, a lifestyle change could be getting pregnant. One day when my daughter's married, I'll be a grandfather. I'm looking forward to that day. But when someone's going to get married, there's a lot of things. She said yes. Now what? Now I have a colleague. Her name is Crystal Hollingsworth. We call her Crystal the Pistol Britton Hollingsworth. Crystal the Pistol Britton. She says now. She says if she was dating a guy and he did not have life insurance, she wouldn't date him. First of all, she said she wouldn't date a guy. Because when you're meeting someone and you're talking to a guy, and the guy trying to holler at you, and then she ain't going steady with you if you're not protecting your legacy, especially if you have children or if you have something to protect. So it's paramount that when you have lifestyle changes, and some of my clients are terrible at it, and some of them are really good at it. I have this one client, if they got to go to the bathroom to pee, they be calling me. Now that's a joke, but my point I'm trying to make is they keep me informed of what's going on in their lives. So when they do that, you know what? Boom. They'll be able to, what's the word? They'll be able to have me help them. So my question, not my question. So one of the first things, when they decide, when they set a date, I'm going to sit both of them down, and I'm going to say to him, like, my daughter is protected. I know that for a fact. I'm not worried if she's my client. But the young man, I'm going to say to him, hey, are you protected? God forbid something happens to you. How's my daughter going to be protected? And this is what you have to do. So staying financially fit is paramount, right? Everybody needs to know that. So when you have lifestyle changes, whether you're getting married, you're getting divorced, you had a baby, you bought a home, you sold a home, you moved to a different state, all of those things are lifestyle changes. So when as my advice to all of you who are watching, and welcome to Cavell Scott on YouTube and everybody else is watching. My advice to anybody, if you have a daughter or son, but in this case, in my case, and my sons are not married, but my daughter, who got engaged, they need to protect each other just in case. We're gonna have that candid conversation. It's my responsibility to have that conversation and give guidance. Now, I can't make you do anything, but it's something you have. I was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday. He has a client of Haitian descent who's a medical doctor. She's very young. She's like 38 years old, right? And she lost her husband. He was a police officer in Maryland, in Georgetown, outside of DC there, and Georgetown is in DC, but you know what I mean. They live in Maryland, outside of DC. And she lost her husband. 38-year-old woman. And they have kids. But the guy took care of what he needed to do. So that lady is safe for life. But she's young. She's 38. If you're 38 years old, I don't care how old you are. If you lost a loved one, a spouse, some people say, "Oh, I'll never get married again," or "I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do." Come on, man. People need companionship. Mourn for a while. I've told Sandy 100 times. Something happened to me. Mourn for, I don't know, 3, 6 months, a year. Start dating again, man. Shoot. Oh no, I ain't doing that. I get married. I'm like, yo, do it, because dudes are gonna holler anyways. But what you have to make sure is that guy who's hollering or that girl's hollering, are they taking care of their, are they financially fit? Because when you're merging two hearts into one, you're merging two hearts into one, two families into one, right? And you're going to have a family down the road, you have to have protection just in case. Like I just told you, I just gave you a scenario, a 38-year-old woman. My daughter's 31. That's 7 years younger. By 38, I hope she have a couple of kids already, 2, 3 of them. But that's not my call. That's their call, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is that you got to make sure as you have lifestyle changes. It's so funny. People they'll say, "Oh, I need a new car," because nothing's wrong with their car, but they want to keep up with the Joneses, or they want to look suave and fly. So they got to get a new car. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You can afford it. It's in the budget. Oh, well, they outgrow that home, and they want to get a new home. And I'm just saying to myself, ain't nothing wrong with that, because that home may have some memories, some trauma. You may want to sell it and get another one. I understand. But whatever the decision, when you have a lifestyle change, getting married, getting divorced, having a child, adopting a child, buying a home, selling a home, moving to a different state, all of those things are lifestyle changes. And when you do that, you have to talk with your licensed financial rep, your licensed financial pro, to give you guidance. It's like today, like yesterday or day before yesterday, I got a text from one of my clients who recently moved. They're in a new state now. And they were asking me about, and they're already my client, they were asking me about, mortgage protection. And I said to them, well, yeah, we can do that, but let's talk about eliminating that mortgage for you, in 9 years or less. At least they reached out to me. Now, sometimes what happens, that's why in my business, we're supposed to have annual reviews with people to find out, hey, what has changed? Have you had a death? Have you had an addition? Did you move? Did you get a raise? Were you downsized? What's going on? So what we do is we make sure that during our annual reviews, we talked about those things. Like I was talking to one of my clients today that I did an annuity for. We're gonna have a delivery and go over it. One of my clients, I just got back and there was something at the door, a plan that I created for a 10-year pay for one of my clients, and it's there. So on Thursday, I'm going to meet with her, sit down with her and go over, her rights and options and what she did. But when you have lifestyle changes, like when I have a client, I was just talking about I have a client I'm seeing on Thursday. Her sister in December got laid off. She got laid off today. She called me the next day. I love that woman because she knows that as her licensed financial pro, let's nip this thing in the bud and figure out what we need to configure, change, re-up, move around. But because she's been listening to me all these years and been taking my advice, she's in a good position. She was at that job going into her 40th year this year. She was there 39 years, going to her 40th year, and she got downsized. And that happens. Life happens, folks. So when life happens, what do you do? Remember that song? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Remember that show? So it's the same thing. What you gonna do when life happens? I talk to people all the time about protecting what they have. And sometimes I get not upset, I get frustrated. Not upset, but frustrated because people don't see the need. It's kind of like a doctor, if you want to call it a financial doctor, I don't know. But it's like they care about your health. They tell you got to exercise, you got to eat right, you got to lose weight. If you're too, very few they tell you to gain weight. Maybe if you're pregnant, you need to gain weight to sustain another body in your body. But there's different things you have to do, and you have to change how you approach it. So you might say, well, your kid is now 26 years old and they get off your insurance. Lifestyle change. They have a new job. They got a job. You got to start showing them to get financially fit very young. You see, when you're in your 50s and 60s, you don't have much time. But when you're in your 20s and 30s, or even your 40s, you have time. And those are these concepts that we teach that you should be incorporating into your planning. Now, the younger you are, the more time horizon that you have. So you can take more risk. You can be a little more cavalier. But as you get older, you start thinking about being more conservative. Being more conservative. Being a little more, what's the word? There's a percentage of your money you never ever want to lose, because you have to start thinking about, how am I going to sustain this during retirement with inflation? Will there be Social Security? I don't know, but you got to plan. And for, like I was talking about, my not schoolmate, not classmate, but schoolmate Ingrid, who now has a business. What's her plan? Her long-term plan for that business. So the profits that she make, in for business, how is she? I don't want to say investing in. How is she investing herself by paying herself? What if she gets sick and she can't actually work it, but someone could work it for her? Does she have the capital to do that? So a lot of people don't realize the planning. So yeah, you said yes as a young lady, or even an older lady or guy. If you guys are getting into a serious relationship with someone and you're contemplating marriage, you have to talk about finances. You have to talk about what if. Because what if is a big, big deal. Because life happens all the time. I don't care how much money you make. It's not important. How much do you save? How much do you put away for a rainy day? How much do you put away to protect you? How is your income protected? If I ask you the question, what's your human value? What is your human value? Well, your human value is basically how much money you make annually times 20. Times 20. So you're like, yeah, I was talking to someone the other day, and and they were making like what, about 125 G's, right? And I'm like, you need 2.5 million of protection. That's your salary for 20 years. Can you imagine if everybody who have children or who are married or who are in a serious relationship are having those kind of protections. Because my number may be different from your number, and my number is not more important than your number. I saw something today on a Muslim site that said something like, other minorities, Hispanics, Asians, East Indians, financially, they're doing better than us and they're setting stuff up. What are we lacking? Why are we lacking behind? We are lacking behind for two reasons. One, we have the crab in the barrel mentality. We don't want to help each other. And secondly, what we do is we don't want to investigate. Excuse me. We will research on Amazon Prime or go online and research the new iPhone, the new pocketbook, the new dress, sneakers, or the new movie that's coming out. But you won't even read something financial to protect you. Well, I'm good. A lot of people tell me, oh, I'm good. Some people lie to me, and I look at them. I want to be like, shut up. I would never slap them, but the proverbial slap is all in my mind. I'm like, no, stop. You know what you know for what you do. You don't know what I know. You don't. Because I can start using terminology and lingo and jargon, and all of you on the watching right now will be like, what the hell is he talking about? But that's not wise. Always remember, and even if you have someone already, get a second opinion. See if that second opinion is in line with your plans, your goals, your wishes, your desires. So I'm not telling anybody to get married. That's not what I'm saying. But if you find a significant other, there comes a certain time in your life. Some people say, well, I saw a post, this friend of mine on social media said, and a young person, I think they look like in their 30s. They look like it. Well, yeah, they want a husband. They want to have a husband, someone they want to spend there forever. They want to spend forever with that individual. And that person is a financial person as well. But the key about it is, but that person that you're thinking about, what's their financial mindset? And if you all can't have these discussions, take heed, beware. I'm not a dating coach. I don't know nothing about dating. What I do know is your income protected? If you have a plan to eliminate it, and what's your legacy? What does the good book say? Well, when my daughter, who just got engaged, has her first child, the gift I'm going to give that child is an infinite banking concept. It's that I'm going to be the owner. The child will be the insured. And my daughter will be the successor owner in case something happens to me. And we're going to fund it for the child. And then when the child is old enough, they're going to start funding it. And if the child is responsible enough, we'll make them the owner. But if God forbid something happens to me, the child's mother will be there to take it over. And those are the kind of concepts. I told you that Muslim post that I saw, what these other ethnicities are doing, but we ain't doing. We know everything about the new movie, the new song, the new dance, the new restaurant. We all know that. We know it better than out the back of our hands, but we're not planning for generations to come because it's not a mainstay. We were never taught. And I'm not upset with anybody who was never taught because that was not taught in schools at all. It was not. So what you have to do is start thinking about what now, what's next. After I make these decisions, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? So my question to you all is, what do you do next? When life happens, what do you do next? What do you do next? What you gonna do next? What you gonna do next? And what happens to some of us is that we don't know what we're gonna do next because we have no plan, We don't want to listen to nobody. We know everything. I don't care how young or old you are. Knowledge is power and wisdom is force. But not just knowledge, applied knowledge. When you get knowledge, you got to apply it. If I have the cure for cancer and I don't share with anybody, how good is that? How good is that? You tell me. Hmm? So she said yes. Now what's next? What's next is making sure, I just got a text. I sent a video to my future son-in-law to be, and he just said that's a really nice edit. I sent him a video of what I did. You know, and the key here is what are you guys gonna do next? Maybe I can show you guys the video before it ends. Um, but what are you all going to do next? What are you going to do next? Do you have the kahunas to tell John Doe or Jane Doe we have to do this? This is what we need to do. Do you have the kahunas to do that? And some of you, you've done the best that you can. I'm not upset with anybody who've done the best that they can, but learn. You know, you guys hear me do the health is wealth all the time. You know, you guys hear me say that. If health is wealth, are you eating healthy? Are you exercising? You walking? What are you doing? Good evening, Edith Gregory Jones. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. My point I'm trying to make here is simply this, folks. For those of you who are older, who have young people who may be contemplating those decisions, financial planning is a vital part of a commitment in a relationship if you're going to spend the rest of your life together. And you got to talk to someone who can help you, make the right decisions or plan the right way. You know, you got to. So all I can say tonight, as our time is running from us, you got the ring, you got the wedding day. There are some people that spend more money on a wedding or a honeymoon that they would spend for a down payment on a home or to put something in place. I'm not saying don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. But be smart, be wise. If somebody want to donate to you, I want to give you $10,000, to go around the world. I would say, you know what? Give me that $10,000 instead. That's money I could use for a down payment for a home. You have to start thinking like the boss. You have to visualize it. So now you've said yes. What's next? What's next is protecting yourself, protecting your partner, protecting your family to come, because the older you get is the more expensive things become. And the younger you are is the less expensive things are. Less expensive. Less expensive. So what I can say to you guys is this. Make sure that your young people, if they're getting engaged or getting married or going to some serious, if they have children together, even though they're not married, they have to do financial planning. Just in case if something happens to the baby daddy or the baby mama. What y'all gonna do? Come on Facebook and put a GoFundMe request asking people to donate and getting mad at people for not donating. People get mad at me. One of my clients told me today, tomorrow night when I'm on the program on Q95, don't blast or diss people who put up GoFundMes. Those things were put to rest, man. Planning is responsibility. It shows you're responsible. And you plan what you can afford. And then you augment, you add to it as time moves on. Because if you're making 50 grand today, you ain't gonna make that for the rest of your life. Raises, new jobs, promotions, you may different field, whatever, So make sure you're planning that. And again, like a lot of people, like I don't like people who are my family and friends. I don't really solicit them. I don't because I don't I don't want them to think because they're my family and friends. They have to do business with me. No, but what I will say is this though: if I'm good enough to ask advice, I'm good enough to be your advisor as well. And family and business or friendship and business is two different things. I have people who are friends who are now my clients, and I have people who are clients who became friends. My biggest client on the annuity side is someone I've known since 1984. That's 42 years ago. My biggest client on the life side is someone I met only once, but I've known I know this person's mom and grandma since I was a child in the islands. And some of my biggest clients are people I've known for a long time, but there's some clients that I've never met. I have a medical doctor client in New York I've never met. She saw me on a podcast, liked what she saw, reached out to me during COVID in August 2020. We scheduled a Zoom. We had some, and we protected her and her kids. So what I'm saying to you guys is that there are people who don't know me who trust me to help them. And there's people who know me who also help me trust them. But don't feel obligated. I'll pass you to one of my colleagues, or you find somebody that you feel comfortable with. But what I'm saying is, if I'm not good to be your advisor, I'm not good to ask advice. Why would you ask me advice? Why would you take my advice if I can't help you? Because I'm not asking someone for an advice that I don't trust. It's not a matter of trust. I think it's a matter of, you know what, it's too close for comfort. But this is business and pleasure is two different things. You know, I take it very seriously. So even like I said with my daughter, and her fiance, I'm going to sit down with them. You know, now that they're engaged, sometime this summer, so late spring, we're gonna sit down and have a conversation, just two, all three of us. Maybe the mother will be there as well. But but I think it's something that can be just me and them only, and just talk about what it is you're planning for your future. Are you planning on having children? How many? you know. Now God controls that, but my point is, you know, this is what you need to. This is how you need to position yourself, so you won't make some of the mistakes that I made. Position yourself this way, because life happens, man. Life happens. And if life comes, whether it's a critical illness, a critical injury, a chronic illness, or a terminal illness, you're good. I was just telling you guys about my client who got laid off in October, in December. She's good because she took advice. She took my advice. And I have some clients and potential clients. It's like pulling teeth, but I love them all. And it's your right to ask questions, to not agree, don't see my point of view. I just have to find creative ways to teach. And sometimes I sound a little defensive, but I'm not. I'm just very passionate about what I do. I am. And what I would hate to see is that you didn't put the right stuff in place and life happens. Because then I'm going to get really mad when life happens and you want me to help bail you out where you could have done it before by just doing the right things you were supposed to do. And I think sometimes, right? I think sometimes people don't realize that, hey, you know what? I'm going to listen to someone that can help me protect me. Someone who's going to make me a better, not provider, but a better planner for my family and for my individual self. So what I can tell you guys is this. If you have young people in your lives, children, grandchildren, even friends, and if they're planning on becoming one, make sure they have not just counseling for marriage counseling, but financial counseling as well. Are they are they on the right page when it comes to spending? Are they on the right page when it comes to protecting? Are they on the right page when it comes to making sure that they have the right stuff in place? So tonight, you know, as we close, I'm so excited here. Show you guys again, like I said, you know, it's it was a big weekend for me. I was really excited. Um, Let me share it, see if it'll show up. Very excited, and very excited, and put it up again. My baby girl now is engaged, and that happened Saturday night. Me, her, Ruben, Sandy, right there. Then here we got me, her, Ruben, and her mom, Elizabeth. Folks, planning for your future is not hard if you have the right people involved in showing you what you got to do. And what I'm saying to each and every one of you is this. Let me stop sharing. What I'm saying to each and every one of you is this. Make sure you plan and make sure you put the right programs in place. Make sure people always say, oh, well, oh, I'm good. When I hear that sometimes, I want to, you know you ain't good. Even if you're good, you can do better. And if you're better, are you the best? Right? So all I can say to each and every one of you, make sure if you have a young person in your life and they decided to make that move, you know, and become one, to become one, make sure they have great financial planning advice with someone they can trust and someone who will give them the good advice to make sure that they're doing the right things that they need to do. So all I can say tonight as we close, get financially fit. Now you've said yes, what's next? When you say yes, what next? Financial planning is as important as marital planning and as much as planning a family down the road, so that when life happens, you guys will be protected. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardoui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardoui. If you're from the 767, Whitey Kubuli, tall is her body, the Commonwealth of Dominica. From St. Luke's Parish, the village of Point Michel, aka La Pointe. You call me little boy or Luku boy. Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. Don't let too late be your cry. If you know me for a long time, I'm going to my 7th year of educating people into making the right decisions. And I want you as well
battery medium
to make the right
message
decisions
virus alert scammer
for your family. So good night, everybody. It's 8 o'clock. We got to bounce. I want to thank you for tuning in. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. See you next Tuesday. Ingrid, hopefully you'll be on. Boom. Dominica made me. That's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Like and share if you like what you heard. Like and share. On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I've embraced my name. Woo! Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Get financially fit. Now that you say yes, what's next? Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being just being me. There goes the outro, folks. The outro. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side. Thank you for tuning in tonight, folks. For those of you who like what you heard, like and share if the spirit moves you. If not, until next Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, 7 Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday. I'm into my 7th year of Tuesdays with Terrence. You know, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy educating. And if you guys are in the predicament that I'm in with young people in your lives, make sure they speak with me about financial planning. Because a lot of you who are my age and a lot of us who are my age, you know, we did not have people telling us that back then. You know, people get married on because I love her, she loves me, but you didn't have a plan. Have a plan in place so that you'll be able to use it. And thank you, Cavell Scott. Congratulations to Miss Dominique and Mr. Ruben. You know, it was a beautiful, 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 beautiful time. We're so excited, and I'm glad. I'm glad that they, I'm glad that I'm gonna be a father in love, like Sandy always says, a father in love. All right. So good night, everybody. God bless you. Hasta la vista, babies. Peace. One love. Like and share. Good night. Good night. Good night. Boom.